Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Smashified. I'm joined by Szczesiul.
Oh yeah.
And I'm also joined by two new members to the team. One of them is an artist, Andrew Coleman.
Hey.
And the second one is a new musician, Mykal Williams.
Hello.
And if you can see your screen, which you probably can if you're watching a video on YouTube, then you are looking at the very beginnings of what is this part of the process? I don't even know.
Yeah. What's going on? This isn't what I signed up for. This isn't painting. What? What are these guys doing? Are they changing their pace up a little, maybe?
We are. And the character that we're looking at is Travis from Mother 4, which is not actually like a highly suggested character, but it's Mother's Day. So we thought it would be cool to kind of highlight something that's really cool in the community, which is a fan game, actually. It's not an official Earthbound or Mother game, but it is made by a dedicated team of volunteers who have toiled away for, I don't know, it's been in the works since 2011 or earlier than that?
Earlier, man.
So it's been a long time, but I thought, this would be a good way. It's coming out next month, right? So
hopefully.
Yeah, basically. So tell me a little bit about what's going on. This is a little bit of cleanup. Who's doing this right now?
Let me step back, because before this happened, I actually we built a base. I built a quick base based it on the model that is Ness's in Smash 4, and so we built a base around it and kind of modeled it around it, because that's what this character is. Ness, Lucas, Travis, they're all kind of similar. They got the same body, they got a lot of the same features. So we wanted to have that as a base. So we built a nice model around that, built the hair, and now I did that, and this is me passing it off to Andrew, where he's been editing it and modifying it, and he's going to set it up basically for texturing and lighting. And you can tell us a little bit about the process, Andrew, if you want.
Yeah, okay, so right now I'm retopologizing the mesh, so that way when we go through and try to subdivide the surface, there will be less artifacts. So, for example, around the mouth there were a few triangles, so I just went through and merged them into quads and tried to iron out a few kinks. And now we're preparing to apply the texture by organizing these UV maps.
More jargon, please. No, I understood most of that.
Oh yeah?
I've never seen what textures typically look like when they're flattened out. I didn't know they packed them into a sheet like this, but that definitely makes sense in terms of saving memory. So
yeah, actually, when I first started learning about 3D, they kind of explained it like how you make a pair of pants. It's a flat thing, and then you sew it in parts where it will actually become a full shape where you put it around your body. So that's basically what it is. You build a map, you map out how the actual 3D object will be affected by this image, and then it's just kind of, the computer thinks, oh, this map goes here, and there you go. Texture.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we actually been toiling around with this idea a lot. How implemented would the 3D be in our Smashified series? We still haven't really found the nice perfect point, and I don't think we ever will have a specific go-to for each one. I think each one's going to be a little different every time.
Yeah.
But this one we kind of wanted to go, hey, what if we did one that was mostly 3D? How would that come out? Could we do that even?
Yeah, and I think having the base of Ness to work from makes it a little bit easier. Building one from scratch would definitely take a lot longer than this would have, I assume.
This still took a little long. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't super easy, but yeah, the base of Ness was kind of just for proportions and stuff, and it was nice because we could actually look at the textures and be like, oh, that's what it would be like,
Yeah, and I imagine it'll always be different, just because there's going to be certain artists are going to be carrying more weight for certain characters, so it's always going to be different. The process is going to be different every time, but that's what makes it cool. We're all doing whatever we're good at, and hopefully working together we can produce something that looks like it's really from the game. And hopefully as you go forward, we're going to see some improvement in how close we get to the real thing. So that's my goal. I want to be indiscernible from the real thing eventually. Because looking back at some of the older ones, you can kind of tell that they're not quite the same as the real thing, and that's just because of my own shortcomings as an artist for painting 3D things. And so it was nice for me to see some of this process. I was actually using TeamViewer to kind of manipulate things on Andrew's computer remotely, and that kind of gave me an idea of like, you know, how the forms work, and also seeing how light works with this model. It kind of gives me a better idea of what I can do in the future with other characters. So I'm looking forward to putting this new knowledge to practice.
Yeah, it's funny actually, because I'm looking at it now, and I never had this option to view it before, so I'm like, oh, so that's how he did it. That's what he was doing. Because I didn't really see. It was kind of just like we were talking to each other, and I was like, oh, you know, change this, maybe modify that, then he'd do it, and it would look great. And now I get to see what he actually did. Andrew, what photo editing software were you using back there a couple steps ago? That wasn't fun?
That was the GIMP. It's an open source image editor.
Yes.
I didn't recognize
Photoshop, basically.
Yeah.
I like how like you set up the background, that white sheet. It's pretty much exactly what you would use in a photo studio.
I've learned that setting it up like a real life photo studio is the best way to get photo studio like results.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's been helpful. Like I've done some studio photography just in college. I took some classes in photography, so just having that understanding of how lighting works and where the lights are actually set up in the space is definitely helpful, and you can kind of see that carry over into how you're doing this in a 3D modeling software. So it's very interesting just seeing how real life practices translate into computer practices.
Yeah, very interesting.
So how about we give Mykal a couple of seconds to talk about the music?
So Mykal is one of the few people that messaged me or emailed me before we set up the new Smashified email. So yeah, you're like the last person to get in that way. So
nice.
You're one of the elite.
I'm honored.
I didn't realize it'd been so long. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I emailed him like right before he had like the update video that he was taking musicians. I was like, oh God, maybe I was too late. Like, but I made it just in time.
Made it. So the Mother 4 soundtrack. It's not super well known because the game hasn't released yet. So how was that working with music that, you know, isn't super prominent or super finalized? I don't know how final the soundtrack is on SoundCloud, but
yeah, it was pretty tricky because I didn't know the songs. So like figuring out the notation and everything took a while, especially since it's Mother music, which is really weird.
Oh yeah,
moves in places you wouldn't really expect it to. So I was doing a lot of playing the original song, and pausing it, and then going to my keyboard for like one section, and then it'll take me like a few minutes just to get one bar down.
Yeah, I've tried to figure out music by ear before, and it's tricky. Like I just listened to the same 3 seconds over and over again.
Yeah.
Just tried to make the chords on the keyboard, and it's like, that's not right. That's not right. If my ear was better trained, maybe I'd be able to do it better, but it's definitely tricky. And like sometimes I just go to vgmusic.com and download a MIDI, and then
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, so you can do that. So that's definitely tricky.
Yeah, and it was like really fast stuff too. So like I had to like play it a bunch of times. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. So what are the songs? I noticed one of them is very similar to Humoresque of a Little Dog from Mother 3, but it's got some remnants of like Foresight or something in it.
Yeah, it had like a little bit of Foresight at the end. That was Dog Humor. That one was like a little easier because I knew it, so I had like kind of an idea. The other one was Battle Against an Intense Foe. That was another one that was a little less tricky. If you're like in the synth part, and the original has kind of like a modulation, and I don't have my modulation wheel currently.
Oh no!
So I had to kind of fake it.
Man, that's definitely tough.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying.
Going into like the step editor to do modulation is not fun.
Yes, I had to do like a little glide and stuff like that. And it kind of gave it like a trap feel. Like that's like kind of the first thing I heard.
Yeah.
And then there was Battle Against a Dancing Foe. That one was like kind of a dance club type of feel. And what else was there? Useful Vacation, which I really liked. That was like a kind of like a light hip hop reggae type of thing.
Yeah, that's a fun song.
Yeah, that one was really fun to do. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think the composers really captured the Mother sound really well.
Yeah,
Shane
definitely.
Mason, Danny Person.
So as far as like what you typically work in, like what kind of genres do you enjoy doing most?
I do mostly hip hop, but I I dabble in like electronic a little bit. I do like soundtrack stuff as well, like orchestral. And I mix it up. I try to like take elements from everything I do, throw it into other things.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, I pretty much only do electronic because I don't have the right software to do orchestral or anything like that. So being self-taught is definitely tricky. Are you self-taught, like, or did you kind of study it in school at all?
Both. I started when I was like 12.
Oh, nice.
My dad's a musician, so we had like studio equipment and stuff already. So I just started in like a little 4-track with really, really bad quality, and just kind of writing my own stuff. And then I went to high school for performing arts for instrumental music, and I learned music theory there. And then in college, I went to recording, so I learned a lot of audio engineering and mixing and mastering and all that. So
nice.
That was really helpful.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, it definitely paid off. Here's a part on the video where we started kind of like iterating different poses, and this is where I actually got a chance to play with it myself, just tinkering around. And now we're looking at a paint over by Chris, where we're refining some of the portions that we weren't able to cover in the 3D modeling process, but that includes things like refining some of the hair, which we didn't really get to cover at all on the model itself, but we also did some changes, did some liquefy on the pants to refine the proportions a bit. But overall, pretty much done at this point. And then here's the final thing with some paint over. I did a little bit of paint over, but I didn't record it, unfortunately, so I apologize. But yeah, turned out really well, guys.
Really
I'm
good.
super proud of this one. I barely touched it, so it's all you guys.
Look at that handsome guy.
Oh, it's adorable. Gigantic head. Travis Sykes. Whoops, I said it wrong.
Travis gets sight.
Well, that's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you check out the full artwork, which is going to be on DeviantArt somewhere. Also, make sure you check out the version without commentary because the music is full volume and very awesome. And also make sure you check out Mykal's channel, which is right there on the bottom right thumbnail. And if you have any suggestions for characters, you can tweet at Smashified, which is slightly redundant. I just said at twice. So that's pretty much it.
Because we're trying to make sure you really do it.
Yeah, do it. Smashified. Hashtag Smashified at Smashified. And also comments or whatever. You can suggest anywhere, but Twitter is best. So
And everyone who subs to my channel gets a free cupcake.
nice.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take that sub right now.